Hot on the heels of David Bowie and Prince, 2016 has taken from us yet another great artist, Miss Cleo. If you don't know who Miss Cleo is, you're probably too young to remember phone psychics. You see, back in the 90s, we would use our telephones, which were connected to our walls by a cord, to call a 1-900 number where we would pay exorbitant amounts of money to speak to an actor pretending to be a psychic who would tell us who our baby daddy is. Since then, we have invented cell phones and DNA testing, so obviously we no longer need phone psychics. Miss Cleo became the most famous of these TV psychics thanks to her over-the-top and fake Jamaican accent, as well as her ubiquitous late-night TV commercials. She died this week at the age of 53 of colon cancer, and 30-something Twitter is mourning. It is a terrible loss. Cancer is a giant asshole, and also no one should be dying at the age of 53. It's really tragic. Also, at the same time, it is worth noting that Miss Cleo was a huge fraud. She was a con artist who scammed people out of literally millions and millions of dollars. Although it is worth noting that most of those people were probably just the parents of little kids who liked to watch TV late at night and would call telephone psychics because it's funny. The Psychic Readers Network, as the company that promoted her was known, was sued in many different states for deceptive advertising and fraud. And in 2002, the FTC finally cracked down on them for those issues plus deceptive billing and collections. And so after that, it went under and nobody really heard much from Miss Cleo after that. That wasn't Miss Cleo's first foray into fraud, though. The Seattle PI reported in 2002 that Miss Cleo used at least 7 different pseudonyms for different identities, and under one of those pseudonyms, she produced a play using funding from a nonprofit, and when the play failed, she took off without fully paying any of the staff. I don't believe in any kind of divine retribution, but some of Miss Cleo's former clients might, so I'll just mention that ironically, the excuse Miss Cleo gave for not paying her staff was that she had bone cancer. And I know that some of her former clients will also take that as a proof of some sort that she actually was psychic, and she might not have had bone cancer at the time, but she was seeing into the future when she had a completely different kind of cancer, but yada, 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 psychic. If you're wondering what the harm may be in charging someone a few dollars a minute to call an actor pretending to be a psychic, there are several phone psychics who have since gone straight and reported on what they did in their job, and some of them are pretty disturbing. You can see some links on my Patreon page, link below, but one of them, for instance, describes a woman who called because she had a dream that her unborn grandson was going to be the devil and wondering if she should murder him. And another story had a woman calling the phone psychic because she was in the park and her daughter wandered away and she couldn't find her. She didn't call the cops, she called the phone psychic. People who believe psychics are real are liable to put a lot of trust in what they say. And when that trust is so incredibly misplaced, it can be a very dangerous thing. So I'm not happy that Miss Cleo is dead of a horrific disease at an all too early age. I am glad that she hasn't been on television for the past 15 years.